Hello again. In this session, we'll discuss energy. Now, you probably know what energy is. You use this word in your conversation. So, whenever you say, I'm feeling energetic, it basically means that you feel like you could do something today, right? That is exactly how energy is defined in physics. Energy is defined as the capability to do work. So, something that has more energy can potentially do more work. Right. So now there are various forms of energy that I'm sure you're aware of. For example, heat is a form of energy, light is a form of energy, electric current is a form of energy, and there are n other forms in which energy presents itself. But we will first look at a classification of energy which is based on the premise as to how or why that energy is contained. So there are two basic categories in which we can classify energy. The first one is called kinetic energy, and the second is potential energy. Now these energies are very similar to what the names suggest. So let's first start our discussion with kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the energy carried due to motion. So the energy that any particle with some mass would have owing to its motion is called kinetic energy. And the expression for kinetic energy, I'm sure you've already learned, is half into mv square, where m is the mass of the particle and v is the speed of the particle. So, kinetic energy is energy that is carried owing to the motion. So, let's first understand through an example how we can interpret kinetic energy. So, let's say there's a man who's pushing a block. Now, you know, as he pushes this block, he's continuously doing some work on this. During this push, as he keeps pushing, this block starts to gain speed. So what you can interpret is that as that man does work on the block, that work is getting stored in the form of energy, and that energy is kinetic energy because that energy is due to the motion. Right. So as the man pushes the block, he's supplying through his work some energy to the block which is carried or is contained by its motion. So now when this block moves, it has some kinetic energy, and due to this kinetic energy, when it goes to some other point, it could do some work. For example, it could compress a spring, right? So in this example we saw, the work done was stored in the form of energy, the energy being kinetic energy, and we are calling it kinetic energy because it is due to motion.